Okay, we'll get started. So, how about that Super Bowl? Goodness, that was intense. Really intense game. Who were you rooting for?
Red team.
I know. At some point, Rob looked at me and was like, so which uniform do you think is better? That's usually what you go on. Looks like they're both equally good. I chose to go for the 49ers because I'm a big UT fan, and Jennings number 15 that had so many great plays. Came from UT. He actually grew up in Murfreesboro. So that's why I was rooting for the 49ers. But if you're a Chiefs fan, good job. They pulled it off. And then at the very end, Americans are funny. Our psychology is funny. Because I remember when the Chiefs first went to the Super Bowl, and wasn't it against the Patriots? Wasn't it against Brady? Wasn't it like the oldest quarterback against the youngest quarterback? And we were going for the younger one. We just don't like Tom Brady, but it's really my son thing, and I just kind of play along. But we were really rooting for the Chiefs, and Rob was like, "Why do you like the Chiefs?" I was like, "I don't know, 49ers." But then at the very end, when they were getting their reward and whatnot, they were saying, I guess next year if they do it again, they're like the first team to get it 3 years in a row. And so then we're like, okay, we'll go for the Chiefs next year. It's weird psychology. But hopefully you didn't overeat. We overate. So we're gonna be moving today. If anything, it'll help get things moving along. It's a little stagnant in your system. But what I want to talk about today is something else that happened over the weekend that is way more interesting, maybe, than the Super Bowl. And it's the Chinese New Year. The Chinese New Year that we just experienced with the new moon over the weekend brought in the wood dragon. And a number of years ago, when I started doing the forecast for the astrology and numerology of each year, I also was bringing in the Chinese New Year. And they always follow the zodiac, right? So if you've ever gone to a Chinese restaurant, you see the placemat with all the different animals, and then it's kind of fun to look up the year you were born and what animal you are. So there's tiger and horse and rat and snake and dragon and then many, many more, right? 12 total. But this one happens to be the wood dragon. Now the last couple of years, it's been a water element with the animal. And you think about all the torrential floods and mudslides and, the things that have been happening, planetarily, but you may have also felt like at times you were drowning with something, like drowning in debt or drowning in indecisiveness or drowning in stress or worry or whatever. This is the year of the wood dragon. So the past years that have been water have been very yin. The wood element is bringing in yang energy. So what I find fascinating is every year when I look at the forecast of astrology, numerology, and then I look at whatever Chinese New Year is bringing in, there's always some similarities that happen each year. And so with the wood dragon, it's very yang energy. It's very get up and go. It's be active, take that leap of faith, take a risk, be your best, go for it kind of energy. And the universal energy is supporting us to do that. And they're saying whatever we act on will become amplified. And think about how sometimes life has a boomerang effect. What we put out eventually comes back. So put positive intentions, hope, and optimism into whatever your endeavors are. So the wood represents growth and potential. So if you just think about a simple tree, tree has its roots growing down into the soil that branches out to give them that stability, to bring in the nutrients from the earth. At the same time, it has that stalk growing up that becomes this big grand trunk, creating the branches, and it's moving up towards the light. So the idea of the wood element is to pay attention to what is unique inside of you. What innate gifts do you have to share? Are you shrinking in certain situations or around certain pockets of people? Can you step into your power? Can you step into your light? Can you be seen? Can you be heard? Can you take up space? That's what this year is about. Being seen, being heard, taking up space, being an individual, celebrating all your uniqueness, being authentically you, and not apologizing. That's what this year is about. When you think about the dragon, that also represents the dragon. It's fierce, it's strong, it's confident, it's courageous. It takes its own, leadership skills in its hands and just flies, right? So that's why the dragon. And sometimes we have to have a breakdown before we have a breakthrough. And that's important too, because when you look at the Chinese New Year, they always celebrate with red, that vibrant, rich red. But with the wood dragon, the red represents that potential to grow and the potential to break through things that may have been, blocking you before. So if you tried things in the past and it didn't quite go, maybe try it again and see if this time it's a hit. So I want to say the wood dragon. I think so. We're going to be doing some dragon poses. The last class did dragon dance, which was an Indian Taoist blend of yoga. And if you've never done the dragon dance, it's really fun, very whimsical, a lot of movement, and it's sweaty. And we're not doing that. But I am going to bring a couple elements of that dragon dance into this practice so that you can feel a little bit of that fluttery movement that comes in with the dragon dance. And then if you want to try your hand at dragon dance, just let me know. I can send you a recording. You can do it at home. Let's sit up nice and tall. Rest your hands to your laps. Close your eyes. Begin centering yourself by taking command over your breath. Deepening the inflow, slowing down the outflow. Let your pranayama enrich your experience. Not just while we're sitting still and focusing the mind, but when we're moving the body as well. Knowing that this vital life force energy that we're inviting in through the power of the breath is what gives expression to the body. And the breath can help to bring clarity to mind. While you're centering here with your breath, gaze up towards your mind's eye. As if you were looking towards a movie screen in the theater. Setting your drishti here can stimulate the prefrontal lobe of the brain. That allows us to envision our future. That allows us to receive any foresight or insight. It allows our imagination to run. Try to picture in your mind's eye some form of a dragon. It could be Puff the Magic Dragon. It could be your own mystical dragon. You can even be breathing some fire. Let's join our hands together to prayer. Taking the thumbs to the top portion of the breastbone. Feeling the wave of the breath or roll up to that space behind your thumbs. And then following it back down. We've already said the collective intention for this practice, but you may have a personal intention. You can state that within. Now lace your fingers together and begin to crack your eyelids open. And then reach the palms overhead and stretch through your arms, lift through your side body, lift through your navel center as well. Feel as some of your back muscles kind of waking up here. And then as you exhale, let the hands just kind of spray and fan down towards the floor. And you'll slide that prop away if you're sitting on it. And we're going to transfer to hands and knees. So if you need extra padding underneath your knee bones, go ahead and supply that. When you stack into your tabletop position, we're going to walk the hands over. Imagine 12 is at the front side of your mat, and you're going to walk your hands to the wood floor to the right, keeping your hands shoulder distance apart, as if your hands are facing 1 and 2. Keep your right hand the same, extend your left arm towards that imaginary 1 and dip halfway down towards the floor. Breathe into your left side body, breathe especially into the pit of that arm, receiving that deep stretch that's going to help to flush out the lymph nodes and the lymphatic tissues on this side of the body. And then inhale, slide your left hand back in. We're going to walk the hands over to the left side. Now to our imaginary 10 and 11. Keep your left hand as is. This time your right arm's going to reach forward and out. You're going to dive halfway down. Breathe into the right side body, into the underside of the arm. Know that you're also replenishing the face with the slight inversion. So on your next inhale, walk the right hand back, stack them back onto the sticky mat. And inhale, roll open into your cow. And exhale, reverse that to cat stretch. Inhale, take your time, maneuvering, creating that saddle effect with your back, jutting up your chin. And exhale, dropping the tailbone, scooping into the belly and chest, and bowing your head. Notice when you roll open into cow, your hands and shins may not be as heavy. But on your out breath, when you're reversing it to cat stretch, allow the hands, the shins, and the feet to really root down. Let's do one more of those. Now create a neutral back. Step your hands another baby step forward. Curl the toes under. Fly the knees and hips up in the air. Downward facing dog. Look at your feet and make sure there's just a few inches between the big toes. Really press down to the mount of that index finger on both of your hands. And try to stretch long through your arms. Straighten out through your elbows if you can. And see if pressing through the balls of the feet, elevating your heels, uplifting your seat, can help you to straighten out your legs. You don't have to force that. So if you need to bend the knees, that's okay. Your head's relaxed, you're looking back towards the space between the toes. And then slowly begin to walk and travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. But when you arrive here, stack your hands to your shins. When you prop your hands to your shins, lengthen out through your spine. Look down below the face. And then if you need to stay there, that's fine. But if you want to cascade down and relax the arms and let them dangle towards the feet, your head will dangle with the arms. Try to keep it structured through your legs. So push down to the four corners of each foot. See if you can uplift through your kneecaps. Affirming as you hold Uttanasana. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back from growing and evolving to my fullest and utmost potential. That's the energy that we can harness this year. Now root down through the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And when you come up, you're going to flip a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. You're going to exaggerate that length as you pour over to the right. Making crescent move. Affirming as you hold, strength and courage is filling up my body cells. Inhale, come back to the top, swap your hand hold, take your right wrist, exaggerate that lengthening on the right side, and then pour over to your left. Open up the breath. Plant this positive seed of thoughts by rolling it over in your mind. Strength and courage fill up my body cells. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, release your arms. All right, we're going to separate the feet and roll out the thighs. So this is called horse squats or Kali Goddess pose. But we're going to do the arms differently. We're going to bring the hands together and we're going to rub the hands. Lots of friction, lots of might. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Like you were trying to earn your little patch. I was never a brownie or Girl Scout. I really wanted to be so bad. And I was the youngest of 4 girls, and my parents would always say, we can't afford that. I just wanted the uniform, really. All right, now slightly curl the fingers and slowly separate your hands. Feel that vibration, a looseness in the fingers. It's like you're holding a ball. And then separate your hands so that you still continue to feel that frequency, that energy exchange, that magnetism, and realize this is what we're composed of. This is what's moving through our bodies. This is what's coming in through the breath. This is what surrounds us. And then, just like you would in like Tai Chi or Qigong, you're just going to roll this energy ball around. Yeah. We took breaks during our dragon dance to slow down our heart rate because it was very cardio in that last class. We'd come back to this. We'll come back to this again too. But for now, let's let it go. Straighten out one leg, bring that foot in. Straighten out the other leg, bring that foot in. Stand at the top of your mat, hands to prayer. Inhale, let your arms circle wide and overhead. Start to puff up through your chest. Slightly lean your head back. Doesn't have to be very dramatic. Exhale, hands together, hinge forward. As you're coming down, grab those blocks, bring them beside your feet, and then release to your Uttanasana again. All right, from our Uttanasana, stack your hands to your blocks, step your left leg way back, and lunge that right knee. Okay, so if you're the type of person you're like, I don't really need the blocks, you don't have to use the blocks. but this is gentle and it's nice to use props sometimes. Stack that front knee over the ankle, let it face the second and third toe, and then slowly spill down to your back knee. Good, untuck the back foot. Bring the blocks kind of more or less alongside your hips or close to, and you're slowly gonna stretch back into half splits. And you're gonna come forward to the sole of the foot, re-lunge the knee. Good. Just rocking back and forth between the two. One last round. Now step your blocks forward again, beside the ankle. Let your hips sink down. Good. Take your hands to stack on that front knee. And instead of doing this, whoop, that's the active way. We're going to stay passive. We're going to stay sinking down, but we're just going to push into the knee to back the head. So it's aligned over the shoulders. So the shoulders are aligning over the hips. Good. On your next deep breath, lift through the top of the head. Exhale, glide the shoulders down a little farther, away from your ears. And then we're going to come forward and we're going to see if the elbows can potentially rest on the blocks. And if that's too much, you can come up to higher ground, but I think you'll actually find a little bit of relief here. This pose is a little bit more passive, but we're not doing straight at the end, so we're not going to hold it that long. But these are more or less the high-flying dragons that we experience in yin. So again, we're not going to hold them as long today because we've got other things to do. So when you're ready, bring your hands down. Slide your right knee back to join the other. Curl the toes under, and you're going to pop up to downward facing dog. Letting your head bow between the arms, spreading out the fingers. Taking deep yogic breaths. Inhale here, and then exhale, come down to your knees. Untuck your feet, stay on the stilts of the arms. Rock the hips forward, but keep the pelvis off the floor unless you need to lower, okay? If you need something different, that's fine. And then as you exhale, back your hips up and return to your downward facing dog. Good. From here, take a deep breath in, fly up through your heels. Exhale, sink low through your heels. Good. Pump them up on your inhale. Drive them down on your exhale. One more. Good. Now return down to your knees. When you come back to your knees, find your blocks. Stack your hands on them, but bring your right hand over towards the center of your mat. You're going to step your right foot forward. And again, to the outside of your block. So bring that right block to the inside of your right foot. You got it. All right, so now see if you can take the elbows down to the tall block. You can bring it down to a middle block. You could also try your hand at the low blocks. So this is more of the low flying dragon. Again, we're not going to hold it as long as yin. I just wanted to bring in some of these dragon poses to correlate with our theme and the new moon we just had. Now let that right foot roll out to the side so the right knee wings away from the shoulder. This is the winged dragon. And this is where, when the intensity starts to accelerate, you may feel like you're breathing a little heavier, like the dragon. I would even emphasize the out breath, like the dragon would. On your next in-breath, again, we're not holding it as long as in because this is gentle flow. So we're going to come up. We're going to root down that right big toe. We're going to heel toe it back away from the edge of the mat so that the right block can come back to the other side. We'll curl the back toes under. We'll lift that knee. We'll slide or step that back foot forward and then fold into this. All right, so on that particular sun salutation, we were pretty much working with the right foot out in front. So now we get to do that sequence with the left foot in front. But first, let's inhale, come all the way up. Have your palms face each other. Puff up through your chest, do a slight back bend. Welcoming this new energy. A year of revolution for the nation, a year of evolution for us as individuals. Hands together and fold. Once you release, let go in your neck. Take your hands to your blocks. Now we get to step the right foot back. Lunge the front knee. Check your alignment. Good. Drop your back knee. Untuck your back foot. Good. From here, let your hips sag. And then stack your hands. Oh, let's rock back and forth first. Blocks back closer to the hip. Let's rock it back to half split first before the dragons. And then to the lunge. Back to half splits. Return to your lunge. Just glide back and forth between the two. Awesome. Now let's take the dragon. So hands here on the knee. And notice if you're leaning forward, you're just going to back the head and the heart up without pulling up to the pelvic floor. Now that pulling up to the pelvic floor is really important for certain poses. Actually, a lot of yogic poses. And Bharati is going to be doing a workshop here on the bandhas, which is working with the pelvic floor, which is working with the navel center and the chin lock. So if that's unfamiliar language, or if you've never really understood it, she's going to be an excellent teacher for that. All right, shoulders slide down. I want to keep creeping up like this. Relax the shoulders. I know this can be a lot for the iliopsoas. Let's lean forward so we're not overdoing. Your head can root down. Your awareness can turn inward. From this high flying dragons, we're going to continue on. So if you have difficulty, just your hands on the mat, bringing the left knee back, maybe keep your hands to the blocks, push into the blocks, and maybe that's a little easier to bring the left back. Just another way of doing it. And then once your hands come back to the floor, curl the toes, we're going to pop up, downward facing dog. Utilize all your limbs. Create as much space in between each vertebra as you can. Finding this blend of strength and flexibility. And on your next out breath, let's come down to the knees. Let's untuck the feet. Let's rock the hips forward and then open the heart. Look out, up dog. Exhale, back it up to downward facing dog. Come home to your breath as often as you can. Pump the heels up as you inhale. Drive them down as you exhale. Do that a couple more rounds. And then station back to your knees. And then this is where you can, step the foot forward, or you can just bring the left foot forward. Block to the inside, heel toe that foot a little bit more towards the edge of your mat. Doesn't have to go all the way. And then you know what to do. You can test out the waters here. Maybe forearms to the tallest block, maybe to the mid sides, or to the low. And respect each side individually. Maybe holding more on one than the other. So now that we've entered the low flying dragon, we can also create the wing of the dragon, rolling to the knife edge side of the foot. Breathing out in fire. Breathing away any worry, stress, tension, even illness away. All right, not staying too long. Let's come back to the sole of the foot. Let's bring ourselves back to the blocks. Let's heel toe that left foot back around. Curl the back toes under, lift that back knee off the floor, step it to the front side of the mat, and cascade down to your root test. So we'll complete this sun salutation by circling the arms up overhead, taking that back bend at the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right, we're going to step the feet to the side, bend the knees, take that horse squat, or Kali Goddess pose, rubbing the hands together. So there's tons of reflex points or marma points in the hands, similar to the feet. There's also a ton on the top of the head, even in the ears. They're located all over the body, but the hands and feet is where we typically can tap into feeling energy first. Separate your hands, feel that magnetism. Create your ball of energy. Remember, we are aligned to light, to love, to positive intentions. Our energy expands. We become more magnetic. When we're stuck in fear, anger, grief, depression, our energy shrinks, it contracts. So these practices can help us to expand our energy, to expand our light. So let's straighten out the legs. Let's turn one foot in and the other foot. Okay, have your blocks out in front of you. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of the dragon dance, but without the dragon dance. Okay, we're not going to be doing all of that. In fact, we're not even going to do it from the crescent lunge. We'll do it from warrior one. So step your right foot back and ground that back heel, because that's just more gentle. It's going to bring more stability and kind of drive your right hip towards the blocks in front of you. Okay, inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms down. The lower body's going to stay the same. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms down. So notice here, the arms are being a little bit more whimsical, a little loose to the elbows, wrist, and fingertips. So it kind of has that Tai Chi kind of element. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms halfway down. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, twist right. Try not to wobble that front knee when you twist. Inhale, twist left. That can be prevented if you really bury down that front big toe. Good, one more to the left. And another to the right. Good, inhale, arms in front, lift them up. Exhale, cactus the arms, kind of bow the back a little bit, and you're gonna wave. Little wavelets. There's no right or wrong, so don't try to completely mimic what I'm doing. See what kind of whimsical, creative movements happens in your spine or arms. So here we're like the dragon, spreading the wings. Good. Bring the arms down. Step the back foot forward. Okay, left foot backs up. Square the hips. Okay, we're gonna do it from warrior one. Inhale, the arms lift. Exhale to descend. Good, simple, gentle movement. Inhaling up. It's a lot of work for the lower body though, isn't it? To maintain that stability and sense of groundedness. Legs are still working, even though they're staying static and still. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands drop halfway. Try not to wobble the front knee. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, wing out the arms and create movement. And there's no right or wrong, so you can change it up. Relax the arms. Step the back foot forward. Whew. All right. Bring your hands to prayer. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, let's dive down. And inhale, step your left foot back behind you. And you're gonna ground your left palm. And you're gonna circle that right arm skyward. But you can get creative. And that same whimsical movement, you're gonna basically wave your arms, since you guys can't see what I'm doing. Come over here. And so again, there's no right or wrong. But think of yourself being the dragon. And if your shoulder gives you grief and it creates any strain or pain, please don't do it. Leave this portion out. The goal of yoga is freedom. So hopefully this just kind of frees up some muscles and joints here. Bring the right hand down. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, dive back down. Inhale, right foot steps back. The right hand lodges into the floor so that you can sweep the left arm overhead. So at first, you may just want to have that first hold that you did. And then whenever you're ready to create that freestyle movement, again, there's no right or wrong. Like, just see what wants to happen. Maybe you want to circle the arm instead of waving it. Maybe you want to open into the twist and come out of the twist. So freestyle. Good. Exhale, hand down. Spring that back foot forward. Close into yourself. then bring what the wood dragon represents. Growth, potentiality, neatness. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands to hearts. All right, separate your feet. Bend your knees. Roll your thighs out. It's our last energy ball. Although you may relate energy balls to true energy balls that you eat. So sorry if I'm making you hungry for saying that term. Almost lunchtime. And then create the ball of energy. Move it around. And see how expanded you can get before you stop to feel that energy between the hands. Relax the arms. Step one foot in and the other. All right, we're gonna use our blocks to create one other type of dragon. You don't have to let go of the blocks, okay? But we're gonna try to really flap our wings. So it's gonna look like this. Basically, we're gonna come up, we're gonna come down, hands to blocks at first, under the shoulders. We're gonna lift one leg up, and then we're gonna see, is it possible to come to the fingertips? Is it possible to spread the wings? Is it possible to flap the wings? Is it possible to dip down towards the earth and then come back up? But please know your blocks are here, right? So you don't have to leave your blocks at all, okay? Hands to heart. Smile, it's supposed to be fun. So, let's start with the blocks. That can help us here. Let's take the right leg up and back. All right, come to the tips of the fingers and maybe see if you can spread your wings. Maybe flat the wings. Dip. It's blocks are there. Bring the hands back down. Lower the right foot. Good, keep your hands to the blocks. Elevate your heels, bend your knees. Come to a toe balance. Just to give ourselves a little break here. All right, inhale, land your heels, straighten out through your leg bones. Now let's take that other side. Left leg shoots back. All right, so you can maintain the blocks at any point, or come to the tips of the fingers, maybe spread your wings. Maybe flap your wings. Maybe be like that dragon that comes down to swoop and lifts back up to fly away. Hands down. Foot down. Let's be done with dragon poses, shall we? Let's lift the heels and bend the knees. The dragon dance is loads of fun though. If you don't want the full class, just Google it. Look it up on YouTube, it's there. Hands to the knees. See if it's possible to stack and to erect the spine. That was kind of like our peak pose today, by the way. We're gonna bring it back down. So just kind of land one hand behind you, safely coming down to the floor. Nice. Proud of you, Trisha? Huh? You've come such a long way. I love it. All right, we're gonna roll to our back. Wrap the arms around the knees.
Spread out the arms or create your wings or goddess arms, if that's better, if you don't have the space available. And let your knees roll to your left.
So we actually did quite a few twists already. They were standing. And required more balance. Now you don't have to worry about that aspect. You can just really enjoy it. Soak it up. Notice how good it feels to be back on the floor and to feel supported. And the next in-breath, roll the knees through the middle. And as you exhale, send them over to the opposite side. Allow, rest, and breathe. But this time, as you're relaxing, I want you to center again on your third eye. So close your eyes, gaze into the brow. It's again as if you're looking off to the horizon or in a theater looking up towards the screen. What I want you to picture now is the actual Chinese dragon. You know, the ones where there's like 4 or 5 people underneath it. It's made out of fabric. And they have sticks and they're parading around through the streets. Maybe you've seen it in Epcot down in Florida. Maybe you've seen it at a Chinese New Year celebration. Maybe you've seen it on TV or a movie somewhere. But think about how it moves. This type of dragon dance is meant to drive away evil spirits, negative energy, and ushers in good luck, prosperity, and blessings. Inhale, roll back to center. Plug your knees back in.
Now keep your right knee hugging in and send your left leg down the lane of the mat. Cooling down now. Right knee only hugging. Now release your arms to your sides, kind of in an A-frame position. And then point your toes and send the leg up. Now flex your ankle and lower the heel towards the floor. Now bend the knee, draw it back in towards your chest. But point the foot, lift it back overhead. Flex the ankle, descend it down. And then bend the knee, draw it in. Point the foot, lift it up. Flex the ankle and lower it down. Now hug your left knee in. Simple single hold. Maybe even noticing the difference with the hip flexors. Let your arms spill down, point the foot and lift it overhead. And then pump up through your heel, keep the leg straight, start to lower it towards the floor, and just about it's before to touch. You're gonna draw that left knee in. Point the foot, extend your leg up. Flex the ankle, descend it down. One more, bend the knee, pull it in. Point the foot, lift it overhead. Exhale, flex the ankle. And gently lower it all the way down. Spread out the feet. Send your arms up overhead so you're creating an X shape with your body. So I want you to take up room. Spread out on your mat. Remembering that this is the time to take up room, to take up space, and to not apologize about it, to be seen, to be heard, to shine bright. Consider for a moment how you would like to land in Shavasana. And by the way, the pose that you're in is acceptable for Shavasana. So if you're feeling really expanded and delighted here, just be here. If you would rather gather some props, if you want to create Stonehenge to lift the legs on, if you want to bolster to form a back bend, if you want to slide to the wall and see your leg up the wall. Choose your happy. Take your time, finding that just right position. The movement can cease.
The control of the breath is silent. Just be. Now the mind goes down, is wrong. Tune back into your breath. To open up the breath, begin to allow movement to enter into your hands and feet. Wrapping yourself up if you're flat on your back. Rolling away. Set legs at the wall or in the back in. Join me in a seat. Then tap your thumbs together. And spin the palms to face your heart. The hands resting here at the chest. May the dragon awaken within us all. We all find our strength and confidence to be our own unique self. To take bold action this year for our own personal evolution. And harness the energy. Deep breath in through your nose. Blow it out through the mouth. Warmth from your hands enter and meet the warmth inside your heart. Bring your palms back together in prayer position. Bow your head humbly. The light within me honors and bows to the light within and surrounding each of you. I do want to mention one thing. So back before COVID hit, I did an intimate partners yoga every Valentine's. Not day, but around that day. And the last couple of years I've done it in Mount Juliet. I took it to another yoga community. And Jen had asked me back in December, so you're gonna do it this year? And I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing it this year. And I wasn't feeling it until a week ago. And then I contacted Jen, I'm like, I'm feeling it. Let's do it. So I want to tell you what it is. Intimate partners yoga is not your regular partner yoga. So you do not want to bring a friend out. Nope, you'll be sitting with this person with your legs wrapped around this person. You will be feeding them strawberries. You will be admiring them and remembering why you fell in love with this person, why you adore this person, how you want to honor this person. There's trust involved, there's communication involved, there's touch involved. You are going to do some partner poses, so there will be some yoga, but it's also going to be soul gazing, you know, where you don't leave each other's eyes, or maybe a slow dance in the mix of the practice. So it's all about developing that intimacy. It's a lot of foreplay, so you can go out to eat later, or you can go home after that and have your own fun. But it's meant to, you know, juice things up, really, is what it's for. So if you're drawn to that idea and you want to check it out, it will be Saturday night. So it's going to be Saturday from 5 to 7. I was trying to leave room in case you want to make reservations after that. But I love offering this, and Rob's even going to come with me. So I'll even have a partner. Back in the day, I was single and I just had to grab the women and demo with them and then give them back to their men. And now I'll have a man to do it with. So I do bring in, so just so you know, I'm not a big alcohol person, and I really don't believe in mixing alcohol with yoga. However, I do for this. And here's why. Most of us come to yoga without our partners. And a lot of our partners don't even practice yoga. So I remember when I was drawn to my first yoga class, even though I wanted to do it, I was nervous. I was intimidated. I didn't know what I was stepping into. And then here, this is called intimate partner yoga, so they really don't know what they're stepping into, and it is different than a regular class. So I like to have a little Prosecco just to kind of ease the nerves. Nobody gets smashed, I don't bring enough alcohol for that. Just have a little bit, and it's just to kind of loosen you up, calm the nerves and kind of, you know, feel better in your body about what you're getting ready to do, basically. Any more questions about that, just ask me. It's still PG, people. No clothes are coming off, you know, at least here. Have a beautiful week.